So, hello to everyone watching us today, and hello to you, Margarita. It's our honor to have today Margarita Lourido with us, who is a doctor in psychology, coach, and trainer, and founder of Switch Intercultural and Personal Development brand. I invited Margarita today to be the first speaker of 2021. I can't believe actually we have another year. Hopefully, it's going to be a much better one for us globally. So, I invited you today to speak about relationships because there has been a lot of struggle in relationships right now, especially during the lockdown. This whole idea of the interview started some months ago when Margarita and I were out for coffee in Leiden, the Netherlands. And it was a windy, cold day, and we were in a cozy cafe. And of course, we start talking about relationships. And actually, I've asked her what her success tip for having a very good marriage. And she told me one of the main tips is to actually try to see my husband as perfect as my cat. And I said, what do you mean? And then we started a whole discussion. So based on that, I was so intrigued. And I would love to hear today, Margarita, to tell us more about it so you can hear exactly how she makes her relationship work and also other things based on her experience as a psychologist. Margarita, we're very honored to have you here today, and I'll give now the floor to you to talk more about yourself and then about the relationships.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share this story. And as well, I hope that this is something that is going to inspire you and is going to bring something to your relationship and to your daily life. And when we were talking about the cat, this is something that is really simple. I used to have, I don't have anymore that cat, but I used to have a cat, and it was the first cat that I had, and it was a white and a red cat, and in my eyes was really pretty. I don't know how was it for the rest of the world, but in my eyes was really pretty. And I used to have dogs, but not cats, so I was really surprised about how they were clean all the time. This cat was clean all the time, and the white hair was always white, and it amazed me everything, like the ears, everything. And one day I thought the cat was on the bed, and I thought, wow, this cat is perfect. Like those hairs are perfect, those eyes are, this cat is perfect. And then I ask myself, if this animal is a great being, can I say the same about my husband? Can I say that my husband is perfect? And immediately I say, no, I cannot say that my husband is perfect. And I said, yeah, but in theory, my husband is as well a great human being. So how can I not say that my husband is perfect? And the answer was really easy, came really easy to me. And the answer were the rules. And the thing is that I didn't have any rule to what a good cat is. But I have
for your husband,
rules about what a good husband is. Then I realized every time that we have all these rules about things, about work, about relationships, we have rules for everything. And sometimes these rules are supporting us and sometimes not.
So you meant it in a way that you had higher expectations, let's say, from your husband compared to others?
Not necessarily high expectations. Not necessarily high expectations. For instance, at home, we wake up in my home in Colombia. We used to wake up every day at 5 because at 6 o'clock was light already, and we have different dates. Then and here in the Netherlands, people wake up a lot of later, because they go later to work. And I was thinking, for instance, oh, how can someone wake up at 7 or 8? That is too late. And
Mm-hmm.
that was my own rule. Something is wrong with a person that wake up at 8. That was my own rule from my family.
Mm-hmm.
That the rule was of a successful person, or the person that is energetic, of a person that is working
Mm-hmm.
hard, of etc. Wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
So as soon as that you realize that is your rule, doesn't mean that is the standard, doesn't mean that is good, or doesn't mean that is bad, but it's just one rule that you have.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that, for instance, about waking up, I used to think, okay, maybe it's my responsibility to help my husband to wake up on time, or that. And as soon as that you realize, this is my rule, it's not his rule, he's how should I say that, that works for him, that works for his job, then you take a weight out of your shoulders.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what happened in that time, and this is when I realized that, this is really funny. I decide, okay, I'm going to see my husband as a blanco page, and that means if he for me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning is okay, and for him waking up later is okay, I'm going to see his side. I'm going to see him as a blanco page. I'm going to see him without my rules.
Mm-hmm.
So for 1 year, I decided to do that, and
For a whole year.
for a
Mm-hmm.
whole year,
It
for a
takes
whole,
time to practice this, I can imagine.
it was fun,
Mm-hmm.
and it was difficult as well, because it was fun in the way that, okay, maybe this what he's doing right now, or is maybe it's about me, that
Mm-hmm.
interpretation. So you can really discover new things, and you can really listen to that person, and you can really see another perspective. So enriches your life in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and as well take heavy a lot of heavy um, responsibilities that you put it there, that are your own responsibilities. So that was pretty nice as well. And sometimes is difficult. Sometimes it's difficult just to take the time to reflect about yourself. Is something that I'm putting here? What is that something?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the at the end of the year, and my husband knew that I was doing this exercise. So every time that he was doing something that I said, she's going to get angry about this, he said, okay, blanco page, focus, blanco page. And
I admire also your choice, to make it, to put so much effort, like for a whole year to practice something that it's beyond what you knew and completely a new skill. And I can imagine it must have been a lot of effort from your side, but also a big surprise for your husband at the same time.
yes, this is the thing. It is not an effort if you see it as a game.
Ah, okay.
If you see it as a game, is not effort. Is every time that you're doing, and this is a tip for everyone that is trying to change something in their lives. See that as a game. See that as an experiment. Let go of the results. Then you will enjoy that. Then you will enjoy the process. Then you're going to be open to allow to happen where it has to happen.
Yes, actually, I really like this tip because sometimes I think people see relationships, myself sometimes, as hard work, and we forget the element of the fun, of having fun, just enjoying and see it as a game. Because at the end of the day, yes, it can be a game, which of course sometimes games have rules, which is the challenging part here. But I really like this tip. What other tips would you give to couples?
This is what I said is embrace the differences and note that there are differences. For instance, one of the things, I'm Colombian, my husband is Dutch, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that we did is we took a weekend, we went to a resort, and we start talking about money. Why? Because I say to him, your concept of money and
Mm-hmm.
how you deal with money is
Mm-hmm.
going to be different to my concept of money. We come from different places, different countries, and the social impact, the economical impact, the situation of those countries made people to manage money in a different way. So
Yeah.
let's see what is your view about money. Let's see what is my view about money and where we want to go together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is to say uh, allow those differences to exist,
Yes.
but really listen to that person, embrace those differences. Then you can go and focus in your common objectives.
Yes. And of course, I think this is general for the different concepts, but I really like the example of money because also deep down is an emotional topic. It has also, yes, other connotations, but deep down is also an emotional topic. We see that a lot in therapy that people come to us with anxiety around money, etc. So I think it's very important, especially in relationships, to talk about these things as well, which
Mhm.
usually couples do it later in the process. But I think sometimes discussions as such, the sooner you make them, the better it is. Okay, what other tips?
And as well in this contest, we
Hmm.
were making that discussion fun because we went to a resort
Yeah.
to be in a nice environment and
Hmm.
to be able to talk about things that make us maybe uncomfortable. So you were preparing the environment to support you in this conversation.
I love that. I love that. Hmm. Okay, what other tips would you give to couples?
What I said is first of all, don't judge, but
Hmm.
really explore and understand the other person.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because one of the things that I say to my husband every time that we have a disagreement, of every time that we are in that age that, oh, this is going to be a confrontation,
Hmm.
every time I'd say this, everything that is in here is love, everything is love,
Hmm.
the rest is a miscommunication. The rest is something that we need to talk of, elaborate or something. But
Hmm.
everything that exists between us is love. I want you to get the best. You want me to get the best. We want this relationship to work. So the rest is just miscommunication, or the rest is something that we have to talk about.
Mm, I think that's very important, Margarita, because it makes also uh, people who are in the relationship to feel safe, that no matter what they're going to communicate as differences, they will still be accepted. And, you know, they have their partner's approval and their love, no matter of all the rest. I really like this point because sometimes we also see it in counseling a lot, that people have a lot of insecurity that, oh, if I really speak honestly to my partner, we will break up after that. What will happen? So I really like that point.
And not only to your partner, but as well, I'm seeing more and more, for instance, with collaborations and with colleagues, uh, about speaking in an authentic way and really saying this is what is going on right now. And I
Mm,
think that, for instance, with the pandemic,
yeah.
every time, every household is suffering in a way how we
Mm,
should create a new dynamic, how we deal with a different way to work, with a different way um, to be able to work with the kids at home,
mhm.
etc. So I think that, for instance, at this moment, it's not just for couples, but at this moment, it's really important to be able to talk in an honest way and say, you know what, uh, I cannot do these two things at the same time, or I need more space, or I need more time to be able to do that.
Yes, yes, because of course each one of us at the moment, there's more pressure. We do not function as we used to before the pandemic. So indeed, that's understandable. And I think we at this stage we all need to have a little bit more compassion for ourselves and for others, and more empathy. So I think sometimes it's important to remind ourselves that, yeah, we need just to cool down sometimes and just remember that we're all struggling at the same time globally, which makes it a very unique experience for us. Um, but Margarita, okay, now we talk about you being in a relationship, in a marriage, but before that, you were a single expat in the Netherlands. How was that? Because we have many people who are watching us who are single expats, and I think they would love to hear your message of hope, or of the struggle that it used to be. Because especially right now with the lockdown, people are complaining, oh, it's very hard to meet someone. I feel very lonely. I don't know what to do. So can you tell us a little bit more about what would you say to the younger Margarita, or any single expat who is listening to us right now?
What I said, the first step to be able to have a successful relationship is about knowing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and this means knowing your values and really knowing what make you happy. Because once you know that once you know your values, you know that you will take decisions that you won't regret, and then you know who is the person that is going to help you to bring those values in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time that you're in a relationship and your values, the things that you really are looking in life are a stop, or you need to contend those, or you stop in being yourself, that relationship won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So what is really important, even if you are married, or if you're entering in a relationship with some other people from some other cultural background, what is really important is that there you have the space to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter the differences.
Yes.
This is what is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. And what else perhaps would you say to someone who is suffering right now because they're single expats, and there's a lot of loneliness right now, or a lot of struggle during the pandemic? It is harder with relationships, and there is a lot of suffering. Like, I mean, I see it a lot. There are many referrals lately from single expats who find it very difficult to cope with the pandemic without having someone with them. What would you say about this kind of anxiety about finding someone or being single?
Hmm. What I think that is first, you have to be in peace with being by yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
think that you should enter a relationship being happy with yourself. And if you enter a relationship being in a situation of anxiety, if you enter a relationship being in a bad situation, maybe that relationship won't be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That relationship is going to be the relationship that responds to that anxiety. That relationship is not responding and is not according to your joy, is not according to your values, is not from that good place and the better place that you can be, and you won't get the best that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So what I said is get first in a good place, before entering a relationship. And also, of course, if you're having that anxiety and if you're feeling bad at this moment, check if it's a lack of connection. And you can get that connection, and you can feel good in yourself
Mm-hmm.
before entering that relationship. And you can make those connections, and is proven during this time
Mm-hmm.
as well, in Zoom or talking with some other people. From this time emerge great groups. From this time emerge great alliance.
Yes.
From this time emerge great communities
Right,
for
because you're
sure.
not alone, you know. Many people go through exactly the same thing. Yes, no, I really like this tip about the community. Sometimes we forget that, but that's the most important to get us through this difficult phase of our lives. And it's going to pass as well. I think it's important to remember that, yes, this will pass. It's not going to last forever. I know it has taken very long, but hopefully it will pass soon. And
And people is more open right now to that connection,
yes.
because more people is needing that connection.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And I like that you put it in the way of lack of connections, because sometimes loneliness on its own can be an overrated term, because in a way it reflects the lack of connection with ourselves, with the people around us, the environment. And I always put it in this way because it's more empowering in a way that actually you can change that one connection at a time.
And
Okay.
I should say another thing. This as well is a great moment to define what do you want in a relationship. For the
Mhm.
person that is feeling the anxiety, for the person that is feeling that lack of connection, this
Mhm.
is a great moment to say, this is what I want. Because sometimes when I ask clients, what do you want? They don't know, but they know exactly, I don't want this. And this is a starting point.
Yes.
Maybe at this point, you cannot see this is the kind of relationship that I want, but for sure, I don't want this, I don't want this. And this is a starting point. Start from there and continue to elaborate that relationship, what you want.
Yes.
Because it's really important to define that relationship uh, that you want, that
Yes.
is clear for you, so
Mm.
you know this is a good relationship for me, and
Yes.
this is the standard that I want to have.
Mm. I think actually it's very empowering if single experts who are listening to us right now see this period as a prep time for what is coming in their life and use it in this way instead of seeing it as a waste of time that they cannot find someone. Because, yes, okay, maybe there are still opportunities, maybe it's harder, of course, but it can be a prep time for what is coming in their lives.
And I want to go back to the rules,
Yes.
because one of the things about defining that person, or defining that relationship,
Mhm.
uh, I have a friend that have that person defined, and then she went back because she said, okay, I have this long list, but really, what is are my priorities? What
Mhm.
is really important for me? And as soon as that she created that list that was shorter, no, with all those rules, once again, she found that person
Mm.
that was a friend, that was a friend of hers for years. And at that moment that she made that list, just with my authentic desires, and it's shorter,
Yes.
immediately she could see, oh, but these qualities I found it in this person.
Mm. Yes, our perspective in a way changes.
Hmm.
That's true. Mm, okay, nice. I really like these tips. And I hope that the people who are listening to us right now and they're suffering in this kind of anxiety of being single, etc., or even those who have relationships and they're struggling to get a message of hope from this discussion we're having. that it's also about changing perspectives and trying and all the other tips that you've said. What would be your main message that people would like to hear from you?
I think that at this moment, if
Mm-hmm.
somebody is feeling that is in a bad situation, or is in a situation that is uncomfortable, or if he is in a situation that is difficult,
Mm-hmm.
what I said is don't judge the situation. Just see what can you learn from this situation. This situation is bringing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this situation is preparing you for something. So just check uh, in a in a bigger view what is going on here, what is the meaning of this situation,
Yes.
because you suffer until the moment that you find a meaning to that suffering. When you find the meaning, the suffering is gone.
Mm-hmm. Meaning in what sense? Like how do you mean that? Like
What is the use of this situation?
mm-hmm.
What is the use of this situation? And what I said as well, find the meaning, and not only that, see the beauty in this situation, because every single situation, even if it's difficult, have a gift, have something that you can use, have something that it will help you later.
Yes. Of
So
course, sometimes we see it later as well. In the moment of the suffering, it's hard to have that perspective, but I think it's important, yes, to see, okay, what's the purpose of what is happening
but
right now?
the way to find, if you cannot find the meaning at that moment, what you can find is appreciation, maybe not in the whole situation, but in little things,
Mm,
little things.
yes, yes, yes. I think it's important indeed to have more gratitude, even in difficult times. Actually, I think even in the difficult times, we need to start practicing the gratitude part. Yes. Is there something else that you would like to mention to our audience today, Margarita, as we're close, to wrapping up? Is there something more or some other important point that you would like perhaps to add?
What I said that is the most important is to be able to appreciate and
Mm,
just reflect what can you appreciate today.
yes. Hmm. Wonderful. I'm sure that many people will resonate with what you shared with us today. And I really like the challenge, for 1 year to try to see our partners in a different way. I think actually I need to think, okay, what I need to do different to see my partner, on the specific tip, like on the specific point that each one perhaps needs to improve.
Yeah, and also remember to see that partner as a blanco page, but also remember your self love. And where I of course set your boundaries. Of course, remember what make you happy. Of course, remember to ask for the respect that you need.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Actually, I think it's important that you add that because yes, maybe if someone sees only the first part, they may hear, okay, do I need to accept everything? No, there's also deal breakers in a relationship, of course. But there are also things we can learn to put up with if it's the ideal partner for us, the right partner for us. But I think, us trying to see the person that we have choose to be in our lives as a person, yes, who has flaws, but who has also lots of blessings and who is
Mhm.
a gift in our lives. And try, to let go of some of them, of the things that are annoying us, that perhaps are not so important in the grand scheme of things. Sometimes I think we forget that, in the midst of the pandemic, of what happens in our lives right now. I really like that. Maybe in the future I'm going to have like a little challenge for myself and see where this is going. And as we're wrapping up, I want to say that I can't wait for the day we're going to reconnect for a coffee at some point. I have really missed going out for a coffee with someone or out for a
Yes.
dinner. I can't wait for this kind of normalcy coming back to our lives. Actually, when I said that at the beginning of the interview, I said, "Oh, actually, we have met in a cafe almost a year ago. Like when
Almost a years ago.
coffee?" Yeah. Hopefully, it will come soon. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today. I really love all your tips and having discussions with you. It's our honor and our pleasure. So thank you so much, Margarita. Gracias.
De nada. And congratulations for your Spanish website.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.